let's go mad. So here's my scene, manager object, which will hold my controller scripts, an environment which you don't need yet. I've got a canvas, if we go to the game view, which has just got a text component in there, and systems is just holding my main camera and an event system that comes with the UI. My folder structure right now, I've got scripts and I've got managers in here, which has got a battle controller just to handle the battle behaviours, and a UI controller to update the user interface. I've got two models. For this tutorial series, agents will refer to characters in the scene which are involved in the battle, and then a battle to contain all of the battle data. So this is going to be nice and simple, no bullshit. Just feel free to pause the video and copy the code down. Agent, which is the character info. So right now, only really concerning thing is the name, which we're going to use to update the user interface. I've put health in here as well, but we don't really need that, so you could leave it out and ignore it. And then obviously we've got a constructor here, which just takes in the string, which we assign to the name, and if you want, ignore the health or chuck it in. We'll use it at a later point. For battle, this tutorial series is going to use a queue to hold all the agents. You could use a list, but I want to use a queue. Current turn agent just refers to the agent that's selected this for input. So the constructor here for battle just takes in a list, and we then generate the queue up here by passing in the list of agents. So if we go to this, we can see here, just look through all the agents, and if you know how a queue works, you've got in queue and you've got dequeue. So we're in queuing each of the agents. So a queue is first in, first out, so whatever agent gets in queued first will be the first one to come out when we dequeue from that queue. I'm saying queue a lot. And then we just return the agent queue here, and you see it gets assigned to that property. Current turn agent, we use the method peek, which is tied to queues, and that just basically looks at the next item that will be dequeued when you call dequeue. Finally here, we're just assigning the text by passing in the agent to the UI controller, where we've got a method called set current turn agent, and then I'm using Text Mesh Pro, but you can just use Unity Text. We're just setting the text equal to the agent name. And lastly, in the UI controller, which is quite bare just now and simple, we're just setting a singleton called instance and assigning it on awake. Said, feel free to pause and copy this down. The only other thing of note here in the battle class is the progress queue. So this will get called in the battle controller, which I'll show you in a second. So we dequeue from the battle agent's queue, so we take out the next agent, which we should have just taken that agent's turn. We keep a note of it locally, and then we enqueue it again, so we're adding it now to the back of the queue, so that when we loop back round, we can give that agent a turn again. For testing, I'm just logging out using debug log each of the agents in the queue order. Then I'm assigning the current turn agent by using peek, like I showed you a moment ago, and then I'm returning the current turn agent, which we can see if we look at the references on progress queue, we are calling in progress turn, which is in our battle controller. So I'll just go through this as well. We've got a current battle, which is the battle class here, which we were in a moment ago. Call init battle to initialize the battle and start. So if we come down here, we can see we're setting up a list of agents, passing in the values for the constructor. So the 5s represent the health, and the string here, agent 1, agent 2, etc., is the name of the agent, which will be displayed on the user interface. Set up a new battle, and we assign it to current battle, call the battle constructor, and pass in the list of agents. We've now got a battle assigned to the battle controller. We can start to do things with it. Pressing down the spacebar, we call progress turn, which will progress the turn. If you remember this progress queue, it will remove the top agent and push them to the back of the queue, and then it will return the agent which is next to have its turn, so that will be the new current agent which we assign here, and then we just update the text in the UI controller to show the name of the new selected agent. That's all the code to show you for this video. The UI controller, and we're adding in the text value, which you can do. Press play, and then if you hit spacebar, you can see us looking through the agents. Nice and simple. It's just a starting point, but hopefully you learned something. The next tutorial we will look at displaying the characters on some sort of map, sort of replicating a JRPG style. Hopefully that helped. It's just nice and simple, and I hope you'll stick around for the next part. Cheers! What that again?